Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thomas here, and I'm going to conduct the following webinar for you. So, for those who've been asking me, for those who've asked, where am I and what about my live trading session? So, here I am, and today I'm doing this live trading session for you guys. So, it's a wonderful Friday afternoon, at least where I am. And so please ask your questions, and we are going to have a nice and very interesting trading strategy today. So even though I keep saying that I'm not a big fan of quick strategies and of trades with a duration of, say, 1 minute, 2 minutes and less, today is a special, a special event, and I will be trading according to a strategy called Barcode. So this is a strategy that was specifically designed for our traders who like trades with a duration of 1 minute. So, like I said, personally, I'm not a big fan of it, but having this strategy is much better than having nothing at all to rely upon. So guys, feel free to ask your questions. The more questions I get, the more interesting our dialogue and our trading session will be. And yeah, I'm all yours. So anything related to trading, anything related to investment, finance, some maybe long-term ideas, I will be very, very happy to share them with you. So in order to select this strategy, to enable this strategy, we need to click the technical analysis tab. It's here. We go to, we click here, open instruments list, and we need to scroll down to barcode, or we need to type here barcode. And here it is, barcode. Then next we need to click the enable strategy button, and we are going to get a picture like this, which looks like this. So this strategy, in fact, it's a very simple strategy. It only has one indicator in it, and this indicator is called the marker. So the marker indicator with a period of 1. So it means that this demarker basically relies on the very momentum of the candlestick, of like basically the very exact momentum that is happening right now on the chart. And that is a very interesting thing that basically tells us of the very exact sentiment that is happening, that is unfolding right on the current candlestick. Now, in order to use this strategy, all we need to do is we need to have that's how you adjust thickness. So you go here, adjust thickness, and then, okay, so it's visible enough. Or we can even make it, what would be the most visible one? Blue? Okay, let's make it like this. So, as soon as a new bar or a new dash appears on this mini chart, on the subchart, on the subgraph of the demarker indicator, that is exactly the moment of time when we need to open a trade. So the way I just did in my example. So the bar appears, and that's pretty much the moment of time when you need to open a trade. Okay, so it is like that. So I don't even know what else to add here. Once this signal appears, that's when you need to open a trade. Now, there might be some situations, like here, like in this candlestick, where there is no signal on the demarker subgraph. So this happens because, according to the formula of this indicator, there is no signal. So when there is no signal, you don't trade, you don't open a trade, you just wait until the next signal. That's how most strategies work. So there is no signal, and you wait, and you wait for another one. Okay, so the first one, the first trade is out of the money, so it closes with a loss. but that's of course just the first one. So you never judge a trading strategy according to the result of one single trade. You always want to concentrate on you always want to see the bigger picture, right? You don't want to make your jump to conclusions to the bottom line, whether this strategy works or not, by one or two trades. So ideally, you want to analyze that based on multiple trades. So for example, at least 50 trades, I think. So in order to really jump into conclusions about the efficiency of one or another trading strategy, you really need to analyze, to have a look at 50 trades at least. So luckily, on our trading platform, it is actually very easy to do so. All right, so we are going upwards here. The euro is going up against the United States dollar. And today we saw data. We saw the inflation data, the CPI data from Europe. When was that? I think it was. What time was that? I think it was. No, not 15:30. It was. I don't remember. I think it was. Was it 2:30? No, it was 2. Yeah, it was here, I think. So anyway, inflation in Europe keeps decreasing, keeps dropping. So that is a great sign for the European economy. And I think all this growth that we are seeing right now, which is 0.5%. So this growth in the value of the euro compared against the United States dollar is basically caused by the, result 0. Not a loss, not a win. So that's good. Let's pick another one. Let's select Asia Composite Index. Okay, and now we need to wait for a new candlestick to appear. And once it appears, that's when we are going to open a trade. All right, so do we have it? We have a signal? Okay. The first signal here, and now all eyes on this current candlestick. And let's see where, in which direction we are going to see this next bar. Okay, it appears downwards. It appears below the middle line, so it sort of stems from this middle line, which is 0.5. For those of you who are more experienced with trading, of course, you can notice that the marker indicator is very similar to the RSI indicator. In fact, it has the same values, so 70 and 30, or 0.7 and 0.3, which is pretty much the same thing. And by adjusting the way it looks, the view, changing this histogram and also changing the period to 14, you can actually have a form of tripler bound strategy in a way. But let's get back to our demarker 1. All right, so not lucky. Two trades with a loss. Okay, and the next dash appears into the upwards direction. So here is a question from Texas. I'm not able to access any your website or app in India. Is there any problem? In fact, no, there are no problems, and all our apps and everything is accessible in India. So just simply please check your internet connection and all those basic things, because everything works in a normal way. All right, so let's see. 2 seconds Okay, so a little bit of unlucky wave here. So 1, 2, 3 trades closing with a loss, but we'll see. And on the current candlestick, we already have one signal. It points upwards, and this trade is in the upwards direction. Okay, so I think this one looks like everything's gonna be all right, and the next dash appears right away. So here we are with a new dash pointing upwards. And yeah, a new trade into the upwards direction. So basically, as you can see, this indicator and this strategy in particular, it corresponds with the more or less global trend. So there are more downward dashes here because the current trend is downwards trend. So it is as simple as that. Okay. Now we can open one more trade on this asset, and then afterwards we will move to a new one. So we can try multiple assets and see how it works, how this strategy, how this indicator works on different assets. Okay, so the idea, okay, a new dash appears and we open an upwards trade. Now let's go to, what else haven't we tried? Okay, we haven't tried Euro Composite Index. Okay, and we are already 25 seconds into this current candlestick, and still so far we don't see any new dash here. So that's well, that's pretty much normal. It does happen from time to time that you have no corresponding dash to a candlestick. So that is absolutely normal. Nothing to really worry about here. It does happen. Oh, and it appears. It has appeared. So sometimes you are going to end up in a real interesting situation when for the most of time of a current candlestick you have no signal, and then it sort of appears on the very last moments or very last ticks of the current candlestick, and that's it. Okay, so this trade closes with a refund. By the way, I think my flat market protection mode is not on, and basically, if it were a 1 pip difference against me or in my favor, so that trade would close with a profit or a loss. All right. It's an interesting question from Ashraf here. Why the platform doesn't have time frame for the Traders Way update? Actually, to be honest, this update is in our plans, and we plan on bringing in this feature. It's kind of in the production. It's under production. It's under development, but it's taken a little longer than we expected. So, since it's called the production hiatus, I think, because I can give you an example. When, for example, you have a game, a computer game, and then you start working on something, and then you start reversal but no sale here. So you start making updates, you start making little changing some parts of it, and then it just goes in this production hiatus. So that's what happened to a few features of our own that we wanted to develop and to add on the platform, and they are constantly being revised and rediscussed, reconsidered, but eventually I think they will appear. So this custom time frame is available on certain websites like TradingView, I think, but you need it's not a free option. You need to have a paid account on TradingView in order to enjoy that feature of custom time frames like 2 minutes and 7 minutes. Right. So let's move on to another one. Hello, when we are going to see daily tasks again? That's a good question. They were just removed on Monday. I think it was Monday evening when they removed them. To be honest, once again, it is a part of our, well, how should I say, like redesign, reconsideration of features that we offer to our traders. So for the time being, they will not be available, unfortunately, but we are going to come up with a nice substitution for these daily tasks in near future. I think somewhere towards end of summer, and I think everyone's gonna like it. So, and a few features are being under development. Now, daily tasks. I personally like them, my personal opinion, and I think I sort of started liking them. I sort of got addicted to them, to completing those daily tasks, because I was using, about a year ago, I started using an app, Duolingo app, which basically helps you learn a foreign language. I started learning a foreign language, one more foreign language, and I really started using that Duolingo app. I cannot say that it's like that perfect app that basically will make you speak, but that's a great app in terms of grammar. So it basically, by constantly repeating like very simple and sometimes not so simple, not so easy tasks over and over again, it basically like cements certain grammar rules in your head. Like you're never going to forget them. Now, it won't let you freely communicate with native speakers of that language, which I tried, but I was like, my grammar was top notch, but my vocabulary wasn't that broad. But anyways, in that app, so the story, the bottom line of the story, the bottom line is that that application, Duolingo, it has daily tasks built in it. And like they're called daily challenges, I think, or something. So, and actually they really motivated me to join that, like to go that app. And I think I had one day like almost a 60-day streak where I would learn for at least 30 minutes every day. And that is a great way. I mean, like in terms of, I mean, maybe OLYMP TRADE and our daily tasks are a little different story. It's a little different feature. It works in a little different manner, but generally speaking, I think it's all right. And yeah, so I sort of enjoyed them too. And also, they would give you some. They were given some nice experience points, or number of experience points. Alrighty, guys, let's go ahead and let's move to our Europe Composite Index. That'll be our next asset for analysis and for trading. So Europe Composite Index, right, here we are. So we have this pin bar, like quasi pin bar looking candlestick, and there was this reversal candlestick or pin bar. All right. Here we have a signal. The signal comes, the signal appears, and you open the trade. Now, let me answer a few more questions, and then I will tell you about the second way how you can analyze charts with this strategy. Now, okay, Thomas, can you tell me any single strategy which gives 60% winning ratio? And I believe FTT is very risky. What is your opinion? Well, yeah, so there are two questions in one question. Question number one, a strategy that gives 60% win rate. Okay, in my opinion, most of our trading strategies can easily give you 60% and more winning trades. it depends on the time frame you're using, and also it depends on your basically how you use it, right? So we can have two traders trading the same strategy for about an hour, and oftentimes we are going to see dramatically different results with these trades. So one person would be making a lot of money, and the other person might be like losing money. It's not I mean, like, and it's not really something like incredible or unusual. Back in the day, I worked in a proprietary trading company, which I already mentioned many times. And the thing is that we were all taught the same strategies, like a few strategies. Basically, we were taught mostly price action strategies. And some people, some of us were making a lot of money, and others were struggling. They couldn't close, they couldn't have two profitable sessions in a row, like two profitable days, like trading days in a row. But we were all using the same kind of charts. Well, basically, of course, everyone sort of picked their own assets to choose from, and we were all using the same strategies. So that goes without saying. That is 100% accurate. But the strategies we were using, we were taught the same strategies. Okay, let's move on to. Okay, let's try this Digital Dragons index. Okay, let's try Digital Dragons. This is going to be our next candidate. Now, if you ask me about strategies, what about our favorite strategies or my favorite strategies with the highest number of profitable trades? Well, definitely it's diving, kind Martin, Excel is good. Definitely it's gonna give you more than 50% winning trade, closer to at least 60 or even 70 sometimes. Triple rebound, 100%. One of the most efficient trading strategies, one of the most reliable ones. Triple rebound. Safari strategy, definitely. Horizon, absolutely, more than 60%. So it's I think the problem lies. The problem here is not the strategy itself, but it's more how you use that trading strategy. So the idea is to actually I'm not gonna reveal a big secret, but the secret lies in homework, right? So the secret to success is basically so close to winning here on this Digital Dragon index. So the idea is that you wanna have you wanna analyze your trades, and you always wanna know where you are right now, what's your current state, and which strategies. It all comes down to basic analysis. You need to know what your strengths and what your weaknesses are, and then basically, of course, you try to replicate the successes that you have, and you also try to not make the mistakes that you've made before. That's part number one. So, and I would say most strategies that we have, not just most, probably all of them, when done properly, they are going to give you 60% winning rate at least, never less than 55%. If you know this strategy well, and if you've practiced enough. So, of course, you need to have these two conditions, like practice and so yes, it's all about practice, and it's all about knowing what you're doing, and also pretty much learning, like getting the feedback that the market is giving you, okay, and analyzing it. Now, I believe FTT is very risky. Well, trading in general is a risky way of working with your capital. Now, what is the safe one? The safe way to invest money is basically to buy real estate, or to put your money into a banking account, or to buy bonds, maybe those basically bonds, company bonds. or to invest maybe in stocks for years. So you buy some Apple stock today, and you expect that the next year you're going to have your amount like X plus 20% or plus 30%. So those are a more I would say more conservative ways of investment. But of course, you're never going to have like big amounts of profits. It's just not going to happen when you invest in bonds. So in order to invest bonds, it makes sense. It's more about saving your capital rather than aggressively growing that capital. So FTT is fine, but of course it's risky. So it's kind of you never have risk. It's like high risk, high reward. Whereas if you invest in bonds, it's low risk, low yield kind of investment style. Okay, so yeah, dear traders, it's there's always like you always need to find some balance, right? So there are always trade-offs. There are cons and pros. Pros and cons. Oh my god. There are always pros and cons, but you need to see which ones outweigh what. Now, please, will OLYMP TRADE users ever have access to your financial statements? Wow. I think every person's financial statements deserve being private, because it's my financial statement. I guess that's what you mean. Like your, it means mine, right? So in terms of like my I think there is a proper word for that. Yeah, like statement, right? So yeah, what's your statement? So that's what people say. Like traders who trade, for example, stocks, it's very popular. Like say, show me your statement. Okay, so sometime before, like a few years back, I would like scroll down and show my my trades, like history of trades, etc. But after a while, I just realized, okay, I'm not going to be doing that, because basically what I'm doing here with my trades, I'm doing everything live. So you can take it or you can leave it. I'm not here to make you stick to this strategy, and I'm not like to do the propaganda about trading. I'm just showing how you can improve your trading by so it's me and also my fellow traders, my fellow colleagues from the OLYMP TRADE. So we are just basically showing the ways how you can make your trading a little better. So sometimes a lot better, sometimes a little better. And you can try different approaches, and our job is basically to give you a choice, to give you a variety, so you can pick a strategy that fits your trading style. But no financial statements, of course, because they're private things. Okay, where are you from? I was born in Russia. I think consistency is the most important thing to get highest winning rates in any strategy. Yes, I think maybe I talked about this a few months back, a concept that I sort of heard from a friend of mine. He just sent me, he retweeted it from the internet. Okay, guys, moving on to the next asset. Okay, let's try aromatic Thai index again. Or shall we do Europe Composite Index? Okay, let's do Europe Composite Index. Okay. So the concept is this. Discipline. Yeah, the concept was this. There was an argument. What is more important, discipline or something else? And the argument, the point he made, or the point that was in that quote that he sent to me from one, I think it was said by one businessman or something, or a trader. Don't remember exactly. But the point that person made was that it's not so much about discipline; it's more about focus. And I was like, wow, like really? Because before that, I was like always thought that, hey, you have to be disciplined trader. I think there is even a book called Disciplined, or the Disciplined Trader. And I always thought, yeah, like discipline, because when I started working in this proprietary company, it was all about discipline. It was all about, I would say discipline was the cornerstone of that company. But oftentimes, even though in general, it was that concept was generating profits, and that concept was generating some form of obedience or some form of like real trading discipline. But then sometimes we were lacking focus, because when you basically it was like like laws. You know what you are not allowed to do. So it's like basically in laws it's written what you cannot do, but it doesn't really elaborate a lot on what you can do, right? So it's all about like prohibitions, but it's not so much about the things that you can do, because it's kind of like you cannot do this, but you can do everything else that is not prohibited in laws, right? So yeah, and that got me thinking. Yes, like is it really discipline or focus? And I sort of re-evaluated that concept, and I think that in a little while, I came to a conclusion that yes, it probably is about it's about focus. So focus plays a huge role, and I'm not a big fan of this like new age thing when you just put a Ferrari on a wall in your room and you look at it and you meditate. But at the same time, having some maybe notes on stickers somewhere in your room, maybe like on your fridge or something that you see often, that always like puts you on track. It's like, what is my goal? What are my goals? Like my goal is to to trade. My goal is to make money trading, something like this. I'm just giving you an example. And when you see that objective in front of you all the time, that's called focus. So focus, in my opinion, is a great concept. So, discipline is important, but also consider like adding focus to your nice profit on Bitcoin. Okay, guys, I think I will open maybe 3 or 4 more trades before I finish. And now I have time to answer some questions. Okay, let's wait for a new signal according to the strategy. Europe Composite Index. Let the new dash appear. Okay, so this one closes with a profit as well. Wow, why so late? I was like, I kind of wanted to open another down trade at the very beginning of this candlestick. Why did this dash appear so late? So sometimes that's how this indicator works. What can you do? Right. So, will you trade on daily basis or any particular timing? It will be easy for the followers. So yes, let me tell you a little bit about this. This is something I already talked about many times before. Okay, first of all, let me find some asset. Okay, so let's trade commodity composite index. Okay, let's stay on this index. Okay, so 25 seconds, waiting for a new candlestick, so I have some time to talk about the question that you asked me. So, will you trade on daily basis or any particular timing? It will be easy for the followers. So, guys, it is very important to understand that your initial, maybe first 2-3 years in trading, you will be trading a lot. Because in the early stages of trading, most people, they are in the so-called stage of creating your trading capital. Because initially when I started, I had very little money, like basically I had, well, I mean, you also have to, okay, you have to do the maths, right? So when I started trading, I had a like typical 9 to 5 job or 9 to 6 job, and my salary was around $1,000, maybe a little less, but close to that. So I was getting $1,000 per month. Okay, and then with that money, of course, if back at that time I were to put this amount of money into like conservative strategies like bonds or like say buy Apple stock, that would generate me a few, maybe $1,000 per year maximum. So that's not enough. And then of course I started trading. I did a lot of learning. I did a lot of homework. Well, basically I spent a lot of time trading. I was working for that proprietary trading company, and eventually I was getting a salary. I was getting some profits from my trades, from trading, and of course I wasn't spending everything. It's not a good idea to spend all your money, your salary, and I would reinvest. And eventually my capital was growing, and at some point of time I realized that I have enough money for like the so-called portfolio investments. And then eventually I started to invest money, and I started to put money into different ventures, into different long-term investments. Some of those failed, and some of those sort of reached the break-even point. They wouldn't generate me a lot of profits. And then some of them were like supernovas. They were like exploded hugely. Like sometimes I would have like 500% profits in maybe 3-4 months. And I consider that a huge like gain. Okay, I'm not talking about for some stuff on cryptocurrencies that during certain times, maybe a few times during the last 7 or 8 years happened. But generally speaking, that was great. I was like, yeah, nice. And then the more time was passing, and the more I was moving along my trader's way, I realized that I don't need to spend so much time, day trading, and I sort of switched to this swing trading, where I would hold my positions for maybe a few weeks, first a few days, then a few weeks, a few months, and now I do day trading, but I do like compared to how much day trading I was doing in the beginning. I'm doing now maybe 10% or maybe 15% maximum from what I was doing back in the day. Okay, let's try another one here. Commodity Composite Index. Okay, another question here. So I think relying 100% on indicator is good or not. I don't think my friend also argued with me a lot. Well, see, some people trade without any indicators at all. That method of analysis is called price action, where you completely ignore indicators and you sort of look at charts with the help of just basically you look, oh yeah, big red candlestick. So usually it is followed by 1, 2, 3, like a few red candlesticks. So that is called price action. So price action includes candlestick formation. It includes single candlestick analysis, and it also includes levels of support and resistance. Okay, so these concepts are all in this like broader concept of price action. Okay, now if you start including indicators, well, I mean, as many people as we have, the same number of opinions, right? So everyone has got their own opinions. Now, should you follow this opinion? Should you argue with your friend? Well, I don't know. I mean, probably the only the only bottom line that basically can tell you, like, who can tell between you who's right and who's wrong, is basically who of you makes money and who makes more money. That is the only merit, that is only criteria that can really differentiate between you. Okay, nothing else, nothing else. So yeah. Question: this strategy works on 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute. You know, personally, I haven't tried doing this strategy on 15-minute time frame or even 5-minute time frame. I think the main problem is that when you switch to 5-minute candlesticks, you're going to need to wait for a long time before this dash appears. I haven't tried it myself. I always sort of I would always stick to this 1-minute time frame. And originally, the idea behind this strategy was 1-minute trades with a 1-minute time frame. So basically, I don't know. I think talking about the remaining 95% of our trading strategies, they all work well on higher time frames. And basically, there is this kind of like universal law of trading that the higher the time frame of analysis of the chart, the better your results. That is sort of like an axiom of trading, kind of, because the more, the higher the time frame, usually the better all candlestick patterns work. So, well, basically, my only recommendation would be to try it, but I believe it should work. But there is this downside that you never know when this dash appears, and maybe sometimes you want to try it on 15-minute, and then you just like wait, and this dash just doesn't appear, and then it's like you wasted 30 minutes. So that might be the only concern that I have right now thinking about this strategy, and that's probably it. The next question, please, do you encourage the use of prop firms for higher capital? Well, to be honest, I don't know. Probably if you have a chance to work for such a company, then I would say definitely try it. I'm very thankful, I'm grateful to a person, an educator, whose education courses I attended at some point of time, and then basically he said that, oh yeah, I'm opening this new prop company, a new office. Basically, that was a new office in his proprietary company. And he was like, guys, who wanna join? And I was like, yeah, I wanna give it a try. And he said like, yeah, okay, just go without any further, without any further ado. He was like, yeah, come on, let's do it. And so I went to another country. So that was not in my country, but in another country, and I worked there for about 1.5 years. At first, things were not going well. Then there was a great period of time, and then eventually, towards the end, things once again went south. So things started going like not as good as they were before. So eventually, I moved back to my hometown, and I joined another company, another prop company. And well, basically, yes. Well, first of all, you don't risk your money. Second of all, you get good education, because people whose money you operate, they care about that money and they teach you. The third advantage would be is that all those companies, they have a risk manager, and that is a great tool. So basically having okay, guys, no more trades, finishing. With this strategy, we can calculate the results. So it's at least 60%. When I started this webinar, I had a 50% win ratio, and probably I opened like, there were a few trades that I did in the beginning. So the actual number is 62%, I think, or something. I had, yeah, like 1, 2, 3. So yeah, these, yeah, this was a mistake, painful mistake, but anyways. So yeah, removing these, so yeah, so for someone who asked me about the success rate of these strategies, it's at least 60%, okay? So you saw it live, no editing, no recorded videos, nothing like that. Any course recommendation to learn price action further? Well, nothing in particular. Just you can find, just type price action in Google, and that's it. So nothing else. No particular course, price action course on mind, or you can always have a private consultation with your financial analyst from our company, from the VIP OLYMP TRADE department, and we are very happy to help you. So, and the guys who work in the department, they know their craft very well. So, yeah, so Ochai Josie, so finishing answering your question. So yes, whenever you have a chance, join their proprietary company if there are. But keep in mind that those proprietary company are never going to ask you to invest your money in the company, because that might be a scam. If they ask you to invest your money, don't do it. Because normally it's those companies that provide capital and you trade with that money. And maybe the last negative point is that maybe the only negative point is that from the profits that you make, you need to probably share it 50-50 with the company. At some point of time, I worked for a company where we had a 30-70 ratio, so I was getting only 30%, but that was such a great time, and all the conditions and all other conditions, that for a while I was all right with this. Eventually, I left those companies and I started working on my own, and then I joined OLYMP TRADE after a while, but that's another story. But yeah, 30-70 share or split share, something like this, was all right for the time being. Of course, you always want to have a 50-50 share, but 30-70 is all right too. So, my dear traders, I wish you all a wonderful weekend. I wish you all wonderful results in trading, a lot of success in trading, and do your due diligence, do your analysis, work on your trading skills, improve them, and eventually one day everything's gonna pay off and you're gonna make a lot of money if you invest enough time and effort. And don't forget about the keyword of today, which is focus. So, guys, have a wonderful evening, the rest of the day, and I will see you on Monday with my market review webinar. So, Thomas signing out. See you all. Bye-bye.